What are we getting ourselves into today? Well, let's find out. We're going to try and take this hand-drawn sketch into reality. This will be a several-part series. Please stay tuned. And again, welcome back to the channel. And please like and subscribe. And let's get into it. All right, here's the skeleton we're starting with. This gentleman here has this trailer, been in the family a long time. He's had it powder coated. We stripped it down. We've added these pipes in here for some tent stakes and awning stakes. They also double as some cot supports. So we got that going on for us. And we want to keep as much of the original trailer as we can. We're going to build a structure similar to this, and we've got some little hand-drawn notes here of some different things we're going to do in the truck layout. It's a little bitty Dodge Dakota that's pulling this, so this is completely different. Some might argue that we should be building this out of aluminum. Maybe so, but this is going to go on some off-grid trails. This is going out west, out in the mountains, so it'll be pulled through some pretty hardcore stuff, so we want to make sure it holds up well. I know aluminum would, but we're starting with a steel trailer. We're going to keep with a light steel frame structure, and we're going to change this over to a fifth wheel. So we're going to cut the front of this thing off. We got some 2x3 box tubing. We're going to build our frame out and up and over. We also discovered this is 2-inch angle iron. It would probably be easier if we were to cut all of this off and start over from scratch all the way down. The problem is that's going to be very time consuming, and I think it'd be quicker if we take a metal cutting saw and cut that extra 1/4 inch off this side here, and we would be able to keep this side rail. It'll keep some structural integrity, and it'll make it, I think it'll turn out pretty good like that. Then we can cut out our spaces to build our frame up and out. So that's what we're going to work on now. We're going to get this laid out, and we're going to cut this all the way down on both sides. We're probably going to cut this piece completely off the front and start building our framework. All right, we got our trusty Milwaukee metal cutting skill saw. We got our earmuffs, safety glasses. We're going to set this up to where we're just going to cut about 1/2 inch off of here. This thing is ridiculously loud, so I excuse the noise ahead of time. We're going to shave this off all the way down. We'll probably have to cut these here afterwards. The good news is this doesn't stick out any more than 1.5 inches, so we're good to go here. So we're going to cut this back, and we'll probably have to do a little work right here to get this released where to fall off, and we'll be ready to start building our framework. So excuse the noise. What a job. I don't know what that powder coating is, but it makes the eyes burn a little bit. Maybe somebody can answer that on here. Now, we got to cut these little guys off so this thing will fall off of here. The saw didn't like cutting through these welds, but it did a great job otherwise. And we got plenty of room now to mount our 1.5 inch. We cut this out for where our tubing's going, and we can run straight down and weld onto here. So I'm pretty happy with it. We'll shave these pieces off, and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, we got us a grinder here with a cutoff wheel. That's my preferred method to cut this. We're going to shave these off and let her fall. There we are. Nice piece of 1/2 inch flat bar. We got one more side to go. I think I'll do it the exact same way. Having these on here really kept the saw from binding up, so I like that. We're going to shave this other side off, get going. All right, the old saw here is pretty warm by the touch. You know, cutting metal with metal, it's going to cause some heat. So we're going to let that guy cool down. We're going to let this, we're going to go ahead and move on to something else. Sorry, I'm in the zone. When I get in the zone, I go after it. I love the metal fabrication side, and when I get after it, I'm on it. So, excuse from being a little bouncy, but next order of business, we got to go ahead and cut this off. We're going to want to take this and level it all up So we want 4 corners. We don't really want to hold it off the ground because we don't want it to bend or flex any. So we just want to hold it on its own weight. We'll put jack stands on all 4 corners. We need to go ahead and whack this guy off with the cutoff wheel and get ready to cut the front of this off and get rid of this tongue, because we're going to a 5th wheel. Customer originally is going to go with a bumper pull. He wanted some extra space and storage, wants to be able to haul it a little easier down the road. I suggested a 5th wheel. He loved it's his idea. I can't take it away from him. And I just agreed with it. So let's go ahead and set up. We're going to cut this off across here, and then we'll set up our 4 jack stands and get this completely level this way and this way. All right, we got our 4 jack stands, but before we get all kamikaze here and going and cutting and hacking and making sure this is its permanent place for a week or 2, hopefully less, we need to think about something here. So we're going to build a 5th wheel on the front of here, and we need to make sure we're not too close to that door. So we are, off our hand drawings, 65 inches from the front of the trailer. So let's make sure we're 65 inches from the front of this trailer. Let's see here. To the door. Oh. So to the front edge of the door, I am 67 inches. So that ain't much room. We may move it back a couple inches just to give us some more room. Then we'll put it up on jack stands. Let's see how level it is. That's going to be the next thing. Get this stuff off of here. All right. We're pretty close. We need to go up a little bit in the back. But other than that, that way looks good. Of course, we're sitting on a little bit of dirt. Side to side's perfect. So we don't want to mess with it side to side. We just want to make sure we get front to back right. And then when we move it, make sure it's good again. So stay with us. All right, we got her leveled up. We got our jack stands here in the back. We got our jack stands here in the front, which is a little sketchy. We're sitting on this edge. I'll probably tack weld that. That way when we're moving things around, we don't have a chance of something falling, moving. Why am I so concerned with keeping this thing level? So we're getting ready to build a complete frame on this thing up above here. If any portion of this is out of level or out of kilter on this plane or that plane, forwards or backwards, then we're going to have some issues when we weld that frame and make everything one piece. It's going to make, once we tie it all together, it would permanently be crooked. And we don't want that, because when we set it down on the pavement, it ain't going to be right. So it's also very easy if you have this frame completely level and ready to rock and roll. When we put these uprights up, we can put a level on each side, and we know that we're plumb. On the front, the back, and then we'll measure across here. We're going to do that measurement here in a minute so we can find out how square this trailer is to start with. Because the framework we put on top, we want it perfectly straight. So we should be able to get this jack up here. Yeah. Now we can cut the tongue off this guy. But first, we're probably going to tack weld these jacks so they cannot move. I don't want it moving. All right, we got our jack stands tacked up here. Before I cut this neck off, or this tongue off here, I want to go ahead and cut this side. Our saw, I believe, yeah, it's cold enough to touch now, or cool enough to touch. So we're going to go ahead and cut this side so that part of this job is done. Both sides are uniform, ready to rock and roll. Then we'll come up here. We'll cut these welds off. I don't think, yeah, they welded this underneath also right here. So that's going to be a little bit of a booger to get off, but we can take care of that. We're going to cut this off right across here because our new framework's going to come straight out, up, and over and down to her fifth wheel hitch, or her king pin as they call it. So let's go ahead and cut this side off, get that out of the way. We'll be done with this section. Keep moving forward. Got that side cut. Now we got it. Okay. Now, before we go any farther, we cut the tongue off in front of this. We probably ought to level it up before it just falls on the ground. Air muffs on. Got to put the saw back together. Sorry, I'm yelling at you. I had a friend that always yelled at you. We worked in a factory together, and he was constantly acting like he had his earplugs in. I'm like, hey, you don't have your earplugs anymore. We're in the office now. Oh yeah, sorry. So now I'm doing the same thing to you guys. Okay, turn this around. Got a good line of sight. Let's make some noise. Here we go. There we go. Man, I don't know what's in that powder coating, but it stinks. Makes your eyes burn. That's why I switched the other side, because this thing's blowing it right in my face. It sucks. So anyone out there that knows what the powder coating makeup is, please let us know. And should I be wearing a mask? I'm not talking about COVID either. Okay. So we got this cut. I kind of veered off right there a little bit. But other than that, we look like we're in the same shape. Gotta cut these pieces. And do that real quick. Alright, another piece of 1/2 inch flat bar that we're not going to use. Alright, we went ahead and hooked up the plasma cutter. Gonna turn it on. We have power. We got fire. Okay, we're gonna cut. We're going to cut right here first on both sides. We'll come back over here and cut this side. We've already cut a little thing on the bottom here. We're going to come straight up. One side. We're going to cut across here. Already cut underneath here. There's a chance this could break loose like we want. We'll try hitting it with a hammer. Still pretty solid. Oh, oh. Well, we'll try the bend and flex method. We got it. All right, time to take this junk outside. And you're coming with us. Oh my. Sorry. All right, you may ask why we cut this off. Well, we have our 1.5 inch stock. We needed this to be able to be put in here like this. So with that in there, I got enough room that that's not going to affect anything. Now once this all structure's done, it'll be insulated on the inside and it'll be insulated in the middle. And then we'll have nice aluminum plate that'll run down the side of here all the way out like an enclosed trailer skin. It'll be it'll probably be completely screwless instead of semi-screwless finish. It'll hold up a little bit better, but we'll actually hit every framework across there. I think we're going to cut across here the same as we did for the sides, because there will be some square tubing that comes up with this. So let's go ahead and cut that off. My idea for these, where our 2x3 tubing is going to meet up, I'm going to cut a nice little bracket, little V-shaped gusset that will weld on across here and across these sides. That way when we butt that tubing right up to there, it gives us a nice place to weld all the way around, and then also weld this. So that tubing is going to run through here like that. We also need to grind this off, and we're almost ready to start building some framework on this guy. Gonna get loud again. Well, let's look in here. Where is it? Which one is it? I better YouTube it. Them ain't tripped. That one wasn't tripped. Well, I don't know. It's still plugged in. Oh man. We better plug something else in. Well, let's bring the cord over here and plug it in and see. The drill press work? The drill press works. Now does our saw work? Oh, it does not. I think we broke our saw. We've had this guy like 4 years. It's been a great saw. Well, let's plug it straight in where the drill press is plugged in at. We have worked it a little hard over the years. Drill press still works. Saw does not work. One last ditch effort. Oh, that's terrible. Well, hopefully Milwaukee put a little heat trip circuit breaker in here that it will reset once it cools down. Oh, what's that? Oh, the man fixed it. It does have a little heat trip circuit breaker. Oh, we got business. Let's plug it back in to our cord. First time that's happened. Close the electrical panel. Set you down. I was getting nervous. My concerns were high. Earmuffs. Come on. Come on. Oh, that was very unprofessional. Four 1/2-inch flat bar on sale. already powder coated. All right, we're getting close to being the rebuild process finally. We got all this ground out flat. We're gonna need to cut some plates to put on here and weld in. We're gonna cut these out where our tubes will come underneath here and come up. The next order of business is we wanna segregate out our layout down through here for how long our sheets are that goes on the side of here, because we want a post in the center to where we're going to overlap our sheets all the way down. So that will be decided by measuring sheets. So we got to do that. We're going to plaz these out real quick, and then we're going to go measure our sheets. All right, that's perfect. Grind them out a little bit. Okay. Now we need to clean up our mess. All right, we're done with the demolition stage. It's time to start building this thing. We've got everything ground and cut here to start building our uprights for our fifth wheel hitch. Our fifth wheel, the neck portion of this camper. We've got these marked out. We're gonna plaz these out real quick and get going on welding them on the front of this, cut our pieces of tubing, and get going. So let's get to it. we got our pieces cut out here. They're gonna go right here like that and cap the end of that. Get welded all the way around, and that's so we can actually butt the square tubing up to a rectangular tubing up to this. Gets welded all the way around, adds a lot of extra strength. We're gonna get these tacked on here on both sides, get our measurements, and start cutting. Okay, we'll get these out, welded out. That way we don't have to mess with them again, and they're not gonna move. We'll take our measurements. Okay, we got it all welded out. We're ready to take some measurements and start building it out. All right, we got these pieces tacked on here, ready to go with the uprights. We're gonna take some measurements and get them cut. We'll start building this thing up to the sky. All right, we got our uprights on here. Got them all tacked into place. It's good and level. We're gonna start taking off this way with our all right, we got our uprights on here. They're good and level. We're gonna start building out, and I think we're gonna have to come out. We're gonna have to turn so we can get to our fifth wheel hitch. Last one of these we did, you can see there was a center beam in here that went straight out. I don't want to add a bunch of weight, so we're gonna come straight out with these two and then turn and go over and then head down to your fifth wheel hitch. So we're gonna get started cutting that metal, get this tacked on here, and keep moving. All right, we have our uprights. We're coming out to here now. This brace is temporarily placed right here. We are perfectly square in a cross pattern. We're getting ready to cut the piece that's going to go across the front of this, and we're going to cut up at about a half of a 45-degree angle to meet our 1.5" tubing, and that will run back that way with 1.5" stock. So we're going to go ahead and cut this piece. We're going to get it welded on. These things wanted to spring in for us. This is a brace we're thinking about putting a little farther back here, because we're also going to have pieces that come out and drop down about 7 inches to grab our fifth wheel, our kingpin, sorry. So let's cut this piece here. We'll get it tacked on here, put this brace in where we want it, then we can start building off the front. All right, we got our little coupler plate fabbed up here. The kingpin plate. This is our kingpin. Of course, this will go on the bottom here. This is going to go on the front. On here, we're going to drop it down to 1/2 inch. So we're going to get this tacked on here. This ought to be fun by ourselves. All right, here we go. We're going to put a level on the front of this. Try and help us out with making sure we're square. Technically, if it lines up with the marks, it should be right. Here we go. This is a squeeze. size, YouTube. Okay, we're level here. What about this way? We need to come down right there. Level that way. More level that way. So I think we got this thing whooped. Alright, get myself back out of this hole. Yeah. Let's see what she looks like. I like it. Now, is our measurement correct? Is the next question. With this coupler kingpin plate is a 1/2 inch thick, so we should be 48.5 off the ground, which we are 48.5 off the ground. That is perfect. Good deal. All right, we've made some decent progress tonight, I believe. We're gonna call it a night. We got our last brace in here. It's gonna be right on the center of that plate. We're gonna add 2 more 45-degree angle braces in here on each side. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. It's looking pretty good. We got to go up about 38 inches. The max height we can have is 8 foot for where he wants to store this at. So we're going to build this 8 foot tall, and we got about 38 inches up to go, and then come back this way with the frame. So we're moving right along. Everything's just tacked. We'll cut our gussets that's going to go in here, and I think we did pretty good for today. Long day, had a lot of other projects to work on. We tried to get to this as much as we could, but I'm really happy. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and this is probably where we're going to end part 1 video. This is going to be labeled, let's see, demolition and the start of the first progress. And we're going to cut it here. So please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. This will be a multi-video series for everything we got to do here. And there'll be a full interior, solar panels, solar batteries. This is complete off-grid build. So this is going to be pretty neat. So I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited. And thanks for watching. Have a good night.